Here's to hoping this works nicely. Alright, welcome to CFA. This is where we are going to be for the next little while, making and testing one of the new Dark States decks. Where is she? You know. I think it's Ominagruzio or Ominagruzio. Oh, maybe she hasn't been. No, there she is. Yep, Ominagruzio. And Ominagruzio. Cool. So we're gonna go ahead and honestly just start deck building. We're gonna put the ride deck together. It's gonna be the easiest part of this. We want the Ominas. They're super cute. I do love them. Or the evil eyes, I guess, would be the proper term. But they're just like straight plussing, you know. Ride. So last one, look for an Ominagruzio, and then if you don't add an Ominagruzio, shuffle your deck and then soul charge 2. And then, when placed by riding on top of Ominagruzio. Well, excuse me. Just search for a trigger, put it to soul. So I think we're only gonna really want 3 of these. I don't know how badly we're gonna want the other ones, but having them does make it so that we can make make more triggers disappear. Triggers disappear. Big brain boy. So we're gonna run. Honestly, let's go with 2 masks for now, and then we'll run like 4 Skullchem to make up for it. But we'll get there. Triggers. So first and foremost, I'm just gonna go with like basic heal triggers. That's right, I forgot they have some nice heal triggers in Dark States. Let's just go with this. 4 basic heal triggers. I know we're gonna want some draws and some fronts, so I might just do like a 2-2 split. It's a little weird. It's wonky even. But, excuse me. You don't wanna, or me don't wanna go too much onto things, because if we do, wow, gravy, there's noise outside. I don't want to go too much into them because I don't want to like make it less consistent by putting too many crit triggers in here, because it's a restanding Vanguard deck, so you want to hit all of your crits. So that's 17 zeros. That is all of our triggers, including the over trigger. So 7 crit, 2 front, 2 draw. Seems a little weird at first, but we'll get to the stuff in a minute. I think the deck is actually like really decent, at the very least, I want to say, about hitting, like, drawing things. So we'll try 3 Skullchem to, no, we want 4, so that we can, like, obviously get the mask. Stuck. Well, excuse me. I shouldn't be tired, but here we are. Misery Wing Dragon. This thing I absolutely think is a 4 of. It's so good. It's such a big beat stick, and it's your draw power, so yeah. I was also thinking we might get Kit's Peak Griffin for the plus 5k and shield and power. It's solid. Clean Sweep is always good. Massive number as well. Lamina is pretty good. We'll try it at 3. Of course, I did also forget that we need PGs as a part of like the standard kit. We'll just pretend that one of those is Elementaria, and then we definitely need 4 of this. So what we're working with is we have room for like 3 more things. So let me think. You could put Gungan Ramen for soul charge. The deck could use some counter charge, so maybe we run Amethyst at 2, and then we only have room for 1 more thing, so we could just like run it at 3, or run this at 3, or run it this at 4, or run the mask at 3. But honestly, or maybe, I know there was combos you can do with this. I think it was this Jewel Neal. An attack so boost, 5k, end of battle, put this into soul. Okay. So it's 13k, puts itself to soul. And then this. That looks more like it just calls stuff out for you. I also know that it was portion of that combo was this, yeah. Put into soul by your Vanguard's ability during your turn, counterblast 1, choose a card from your hand, call it to an open rearguard circle. I don't know. I don't think we'll be getting to 10 soul very often, so that drawing a card won't come up. Multi-attack is good, but I would honestly rather multi-attack with my Vanguard and just have some big number of rear guards. That's just how I would prefer to play it, so I'll try it the way I want to try it. Maybe my brain's just like not functioning. I should look for potentially a different counter charger. So I'm just gonna like scroll through, find something that says counter charge on it. And Dark States definitely has like a ton of soul charge, which is fine. You know, the deck definitely needs it. I think if we focus on soul blasting for Misery Winged Dragon for the draws, we'll be soul blasting great unrestricted. We'll be soul blasting enough that it's just kind of like you know, like wait. So it's more face zone. No, not worth it. I'll look through grade 2s, but I did remember there's one of these. Yeah. When put to soul for your Vanguard's ability, counterblast 2, choose a Vanguard, 5k, and a drive. If we're counterblasting for this early game, and then counterblasting for this late game, and then we choose to do this, that's just going to be too much counterblast, so we'll stay away from that. I think one of the other, like, pretty reliable counterchargers was a Barrow Magnus restricted one. Or not Barrow, maybe it is Barrow Magnus restricted, I don't know. At the very least, it was printed with Barrow Magnus. Oh, there she is. In the battle, this attack, 10 or more cards, put it to soul, countercharge. I don't know how often we'll be hitting 10 or more cards, so I'll just leave it. We can try it. Actually, we'll see how like a test game goes, and then we'll try it. I was honestly kind of hoping there would be like a greed-on card that just isn't greed-on restricted, that says when put to soul you can countercharge. Does not seem to be the case. No, I'll just bump that up to see more countercharge to 3. Save the deck, go back, test room, just do a quick little test. I think CFA is extremely loud right now, so don't worry about that. I'm gonna call it, let's say I go heads. Flip the coin, heads, that means I'm going first, cool. So, we see 2 cards that we want to keep in hand, and then a trigger that we might not complain about keeping in hand. So honestly, I'm just gonna like put these 2 back, and then we can ditch Riley for Ride. Cool. Kemda's fine, or we can guard with Riley. So, before getting into this, let's say, I don't know, my opponent's gonna be something Stoicheia. Let's say it's Flagberg. I know their numbers decently well, so stand and draw. We've got an extra one of those, so it's early and we do have this already, so let's just discard the no shield. Ride this. Skill, 1 place, Soul Blast 1. Check the top 5 for an Omina. No Ominas. Oops. We soul charge one of those and one of those, of course. And then we pass turn. So then they ride up to their grade 1. Let's say they didn't see their plant tokens, but they'll see it next turn. So grade 2, they'll have 2 attacks that are 10k, and then this turn they'll just have 1 attack, 8k, swing at my Vanguard. I'll just hit them with a no guard, because, I mean, it would make sense to do Skill Kemda. Crit, Power Vanguard, cool, good for me. Stand and draw. At this point, ditch that, grant the grade 2. Grade 2's ability when placed. Where is she? Does it say what I searched? Well, no, yeah, it. I'll search out the front and put that to soul, since I only run like so little of those. So I now have draws, fronts. Actually, against Flagberg, there's no. They don't run fronts. So I'll just like have that as low priority. Maybe? I don't know. Either I low priority this against Flagberg because they're not gonna, or I search out another crit. I have a crit in hand to guard with, so we'll just go ahead and keep the crit. So put that to soul. I don't remember if I shuffled, so I shuffle and then draw a card. Cool. We're not going to go too hard early on, because if I do go too hard early on, they are going to just retire my board. So swing 10k at their Vanguard. Nothing crazy. Crit. Cool. So now we have a second crit to do stuff with. I'm very glad that I didn't. So now they're at 2 damage. They ride up, they're grade 2, then they call down Burrow Mushrooms, so now they've got a 10k and a 10k, so swing with a 10k, guard, swing with a 10k, and I'll do this. Wow, good gravy. They're stacking my deck. So stand and draw. Honestly, I'm gonna say I'm probably gonna ditch Kemda right here. And this. So 1 place, top 5 for a Mask or Omina. And I see 2 Ominas. So do I search out an additional Persona Ride or So right now we're at the point where I'm gonna be able to put a crit and possibly a draw away. So I'll search out the Persona Ride, add it to hand. I don't know. It's weird because I do kind of want this, so that way I can do it again. But I also know that next turn I'm just gonna ride into my masks. So yeah, we'll just go ahead and do that, and then boom. So blast that out, and then choose the crit. And I know it says bind it, but I would rather put it up here so that way I can see what I've done. Again, don't really want to commit too much because if I do, they'll just retire it anyway. So I'm just going to swing 13 at their grade 2. They'll probably just 2 to pass it since I crit them earlier and they're already at 2. So drive check, draw, power maneuver, draw. Second check, front, cool. It still hits. 33k, boom. Now they're at 3 damage. Cool. So then 13, they'll swing inlet twice, Eric's once, and it'll be 18 boosted by something, and then 15 swinging by itself. So we'll take the first damage. Boom. Half their stuff doesn't hit me anymore. Cool. So then 13, 13, 18, 15. Swing with Vanguard. Oh, it'll be 15, 15 because they had the burrow mushrooms. So then they swing with Vanguard. They would retire too. They gain 10k, so it's 23. Guard with 3. I'm in a position where I can pretty much afford to guard with 3. I have these in soul and one of these, so I'm gonna persona ride next turn. So this puts me to 33, 38. I'm the trigger I don't really have in drop zone is heal, so we'll also guard with that. 33, 38, 53. So over trigger to pass, so they don't hit it. Whoa, crazy, what a thought. Cool, so now we have another Ominagruzio for doing that second time. So, not gonna immediately do that, but I will get that ready for when we get there. Vanguard skill, so last one, choose a trigger. Let's choose the draw here. Since it's an act skill, it's pretty important to do. So then we'll go ahead, reveal, and ride, and then shift click, persona ride, soul, and now we're on Ominagruzio Masques. And it says act, remove, and then auto, end of battle. So we've persona ridden, so we can call this bad boy. Kind of last one. Oh, choose a card, call it before. Let's see, we've got one of these bad boys. I can either go for this, which is draw power, or go for this, which will help me restand. I think I go for the draw power against Flagberg. So, when placed, there are 2 different types of triggers, so I Soul Blast 1 and 2, so that way I can remove this from game with my Vanguard. And draw. Remove this from game with my Vanguard and not feel bad about it. And then we will put this bad boy, and then gonna go ahead and remove that from game. And then choose, we have crit draw, now we have heal. So he's gonna have this, and then when I place this, I soul charge 1. I don't have to soul charge 1, but I'm in a spot where I would like to soul charge 1. So keeping a hand of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, pretty decent. Nothing ridiculous. I mean, nothing crazy. So battle phase, we're gonna swing 31,000. This guy counts as 2 when being put to soul, so I don't have to do anything else for that. So 31,000, twin drive. They were at 3 last I checked, so let's say they I have stuff to guard both of my Vanguard attacks, like, easily, so a PG and then, well, maybe, we'll get there. So, the PG, the first one, since it's definitely, if I don't hit any triggers, then this is guaranteed to be the second biggest attack this turn. So, drive check 1, drive check 2, no triggers, boom. So then, skill, end of battle, counter blast, dang it, stop minimizing. Put this to soul, and I restand, drive -1. Oh yeah, there's no way to write drive -1 on this, but we did just restand, and their stuff has -5k shield. So then we swing 23, and now they're looking and they're like, oh crap, it's pretty likely that they'll hit a trigger here. So we swing 23, we've got 1 drive, so then they would put, I don't know, let's say they do have another PG, but they want to put it in to my other rear guards, so they no guard this, because they're at 2 damage. If I hit a trigger here, whatever trigger it is, it could hurt really bad, but if it's like a crit trigger, they take 2 damage, and then these could possibly be like so much easier to guard if they hit damage checks. Boom, PG. No trigger, cool. So then they take a damage. Let's say they do take a damage trigger. So we swing it, rear guard, Eric's. They wouldn't be able to guard for it easily because they'd have to 2-card guard it. So I think Eric's is dead. And then 35,000 at Vanguard, and they'll either take it or drop 3 cards or a PG to guard. So we're already looking pretty good. So then, whoa, excuse you. Shuffle. So then they set up their next turn. They've Persona ridden. They've got Flagberg and Ascendance Assault. Actually, it would have been Ascendance Assault, not Eric's. But either way, I hit a damage trigger and like ended their whole turn. So they've got Inlet, and then now it's Eric's. So 23k at my Vanguard. I know they're gonna retire my stuff, so well, yeah, they're gonna retire my stuff, but not yet. So 23, 23, 20, or 28. If I hit a trigger, or if I take this first one and I hit a trigger, this will be 28. If I don't hit a trigger, this will probably be 20, so that way when it restands, gains the 5k, 28 turns into 33 while boosted, meaning this will hit a decent number, and this will just be 23 twice. Yeah. So 23, I will just guard with this. I want to guard all the rear guard attacks and then take the Vanguard. Just pray they don't hit too many crits. I'm also gonna probably just like assume that they hit 2 crits off their Vanguard and just die, because it's funnier that way. So then I did that. They're gonna swing for 20. I'll just, yeah. Then Inlet again, 23. Yeah, boom. And then Eric's, maybe they have this guy back there, or they don't run him too much, but PG the Eric's, which was 33k, and then swing with their Vanguard. They hit a single crit. They either hit a single crit or they have this guy back here, and I take 2 damage, so boom. There's no counter charger. I mean, not too super huge. I mean, obviously. Stand and draw. Here we are on our turn again. Oh my gosh, stop minimizing. So then we Persona Ride again. Every turn. Crazy how that works. I don't think we're gonna do too super much crazy. So on place, we're gonna get rid of the rest of the cards in our soul that count as, yeah, they count as our Vanguard, or as our ride line. Oh sweet, even better. Soul Blast 2, draw. Yeah, easy. That's during this turn, 5k. So in here we've got all that stuff. We can counterblast 1, and then do that, and then we'll probably bind the front this turn. Yeah, so we'll go ahead, remove this, and then take that front and bind it. And then of course, like every trigger except for the over trigger gets minused. I'm at 14 cards in deck, and I believe one of them is the mask still. Yeah, one of them is the mask still, so I could either go for this or go for Kemba, who's gonna make his self bigger, and then just call this from hand. As I do have a person to ride for next turn, but I'm gonna try and push for game this turn. So this will have +20. Skullchem disability, yeah, search out the mask, add it to hand. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 triggers in a deck of 13 cards. We definitely want a deck then. You know. We'll give him an extra 5k, and then we'll call that out. And I guess we'll use the mask since we don't use orders. Top 5. Yeah, that's about right. So no deck thinning extra here, but we're living a good life. So like I said, we're gonna push for a turn or for game, but we're not gonna try and like call boosters behind these, even though it would be helpful to like push this bad boy over 25k. I don't want to waste that PG just in case they survive. So we're gonna swing. Oops, put myself to battle phase. Swing 31,000 because yep, that's just like a pretty consistent number. They were at 4 damage last I checked, and I'm at 5 right now. So 31,000. Been consistently drawing 2, so they've seen 2 in the pulses and stuff, so they've probably got like 6, 7, maybe 8 cards in hand. So let's say they have 2 PGs. They'll PG this first Vanguard swing, and they'll probably try and save a PG for the second one, or for this guy over here. So drive check 1, drive check 2, no triggers. Wow, we are just hitting all of the triggers. Kind of last one, put this to soul. Obviously I didn't soul charge for this one, I probably should have, but deck is getting kind of low as is, and I don't want to run completely out of deck. So, you know, I was assuming there would also maybe be a trigger on top. Then swing again, 23, they put down 33, intercept with Eric's, making it 38, so just pretty much over trigger to pass since I have a 1 drive check crit. We put the power here because this is a bigger swing. So since they're at 4, probably wouldn't swing with this to give them the more stuff actually, so I would just give this the 10k power instead. Swing, and like I said, if they have another PG, they do survive this turn, so then I would swing and they'd probably just take this. End phase, nothing crazy. Pretty solid turn. I've got 2 PGs, and it looks like I honestly would lose to Flagberg right here and now. So we'll go ahead and just say that happened. So then going back into the deck editor, there's a couple things that we could do to change the deck. I don't think we actually need this too super badly. And Skullkemda might be a little much at 4. So maybe there's another grade 1 we could run to help our back row, or help bolster our numbers in general. We were sitting pretty consistently with like 2 or 3 soul. We could absolutely run Brainwash Swirler, but I also don't want to like soul charge too much. We were doing fine on the soul charge. Ooh, the Dragon Tree Wretch would be pretty solid. Vanguard Vanguards, grade 3 or greater soul list. 2, choose a grade 1 or less card from your soul card. The rear guard circle in the same column as this unit. And when placed, counterblast 1, make a marker. See, I do like Lamina. I think she's probably better than this because you don't want to Soul Blast 2 every turn. Maybe. Like, against a deck that doesn't retire, I can call down as many of these bad boys as I really want. Ruin Collectors. Maybe I could just run a 2 of Lattice if I'm in a game state like that. Or Lattice, Incane, excuse me. Because he's also a semi-soul charger, and then put it to soul, and if I'm in a good spot counterblast wise, I can get an extra drive. That doesn't really sound all that good, actually. Soul is 5 or more cards. Call 2 or more. That's pretty good. But I'm already pretty much like forcing that restriction. Ooh. If your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, bind a trigger from soul plus 10k. That's right. Sparta exists. I might just run 2 of her in the main deck. Save deck. And then we'll do one more test, but I think I'm actually pretty happy and comfortable with where we're at right now. I don't really plan on doing too super much for this video. Heads, we're going second, cool. Let's say again, we are against Flagberg. So immediately get rid of the crit, get rid of the PG. We keep the front. Actually, no, we're gonna search the front off of our ride line. So we're just gonna put 3 back. Then we've got Chemda and a Masques in hand to keep. Okay, that's a lot of grade 3s. Start a game with, but stand and draw. We just actually ditched this bad boy. Right, give me a second, draw a card. Skill of Crow, Soul Blast 2, top 5. Whiff. Happens. Hell, tragic even. I honestly kind of prefer the Soul Charge 2 anyways. Like, it's randomized and you can't really do much about it, but I do enjoy it, so swing. Actually, instead, let's say we're against Zorga this time. Let's say, yeah, we're against a deck that doesn't retire my stuff, so swing, they no guard because they also have Iweleth in hand, so they're just gonna, like, yeah, search out their mask stuff. Cool. They wanna do their thing, I wanna do my thing. They swing with their Vanguard. Damage, power to Vanguard. Wow, yippee. Stand and draw. Cool. Shao from here. I don't want to ditch my Persona Rides. I don't want to ditch my Chemda because I'm about to call him to field. I definitely don't want to get rid of Repelled Malice Dragon. PGs are way too important against Zorga to be getting rid of them. So in here, especially since we already have one in Soul, I'll get rid of the crit, sadly. And then ride the grade 2, search my deck for... We're against Zorga, we already have a front in Soul, we have crit and drop zone. Let's put a draw to Soul. Shuffle and draw. Cool. Yippee. All this counterblast. Soul Blast the second ride line card because we want to have those in drop zone to be able to do this stuff for if we get the counter charger. Shift click, make the Dragon Tree marker. We'll just put it on the one he's on, and then add the mask to hand. Shuffle. Not going too super crazy. That's bait. Do I call 1 year? No, I don't. swing 10k, drive check, no trigger, 10k. They guard this, so they're at 2 damage. So then they ride up to Red Zorga. They probably don't go into Zorga Masques because even though it's big power, they wouldn't be able to Persona Ride yet, so they're doing their thing. They're going to get 3 swings off. One of them's a Roaming Prison Dragon, one of them's their Vanguard, and then one of them is Shadow Cloak. So we're going to guard Roaming Prison Dragon. Right, it's, excuse me, 5, 10, 15 plus 5k from the Vanguard makes it 20. Oops. Makes it 20k. Yeah, actually, we'll take the Vanguard swing. Drive check, they get 1 trigger, they put it over here. Boom, critical, the Vanguard. Actually, the trigger they got was a crit, sure, why not? So then this is 20k, 30k. They have Shadow Cloak that is boosted, and then this will just be 30. So I'm at 20, and I'll just guard with a crit. And then Shadow Cloak, 10, 18. They swing at Kemda. Kemda is gone. Stand and draw. So we're in a pretty good spot. We've got 2 of these bad boys, so we actually just ditched this. So sad to see this though. Right, Ominagruzio. Top 5. See, none of them. Would be cool if you could just like add anything from the top 5. But oh well. So we'll last that bad boy out, and we'll take the crit. Because yeah, it's pretty important to do. And then we will go ahead and mask up. It's gonna ride. So, did I did. Okay, cool. So we're gonna remove that and then choose one of these bad boys from drop zone to then choose. So now we're at 2. Soul, and so we'll probably save off on this, and then call this for sure. Use its ability to Soul Blast. 1, 2, and draw. So another Persona Ride, cool. I think we're just gonna call this and then not bother with the second column right now. So this gains 10k because it'll be 35k on a Dragon Tree marker with these 2. Just good stuff. Wait, I probably want to Soul Charge on that. Yeah. Okay, cool. There goes the masks. So yeah, I should probably just Soul Charge off of this bad boy like anytime I see him. 31. They say no guard because it's the first Vanguard attack, and they're only at 2 damage. So check 1, check 2. Now they're only at 3. Skill, kind of last one. Put this to Soul. Stand, drive -1. Swing, they guard. Drive check, singular. Wow. I am just able to hit every trigger off of my drives. And then 35k. So, end turn, mega damage. Power Vanguard, it's a heal. Actually, I need to decide, do they take this and go to 4? I don't know, honestly. Sometimes it can be really hard to guard, so yeah, they're already at 4. So I don't heal off of this, which is kind of sad. So that was their Vanguard swing. Actually, no. Let's say we took Roaming Prison. Okay, we took the Roaming Prison Dragon from the first swing, and cool. So we're in a decent spot. They're gonna swing here, and I'm honestly not about to guard a 40,000 card attack. Yeah, for that, and then guard Prison Dragon like that. Keel Severing would probably be 10, 20, 30. So he's on a Dragon Tree marker, so he's 10 on his own. 20, 30 Persona Ride, Alchemagic. 8k booster, so 38. So he would have swung here because that's just like a 10k guard there. And then the other Rolling Prison Dragon swings. Yeah, I guess we probably just have to do that. Yeah, fair enough. Stand and draw. Persona Ride. Draw. Cool. We have the counter charger. We're not in like dire need for counter charge, so I won't bother. I will, however, use my Vanguard's ability to bind, and now we're at 3 triggers. So I'm going to call this, use her ability to just get this bad boy back right out of soul. So charge 1, it's going to be a trigger this time. Wow, it's not. I'm very surprised. Call this. Use its ability to Celeste to draw a card. And then it'll have, oops, 15,000. And then, I don't know. I think we might want to push a little here. So we call this. But we're also not in the best spot, like, hand-wise. And they're only also at 4, so maybe we don't push too super hard this turn, since this is already a 2-card guard, unless they have fronts, which Zorga sometimes does, sometimes doesn't. It depends on the day, I guess. But yeah, let's go ahead. Battle phase, swing 31,000. We'll either counter charge next turn with this, or we'll use it as shield. Either way, it'll be more important in my hand right now than just chilling on the field when I don't need to. So 31k, they guard this. They have a PG in hand that they recurred from Shadow Cloak, and they have a second PG in hand that they got from this, so I gotta break through 2 PGs. Drive checks, cool, amazing. Counterblast, Assault, stand, 23k. They have fronts, so there's 1 front and another crit, so then they still have PG for one of the other 2 attacks. Drive check, no triggers. Wow, empty. So 25 and then 35. They take 1 and then block the other end turn. So they've got RPD, Vanguard, Keel Severing. So RPD, swing in 20, yeah, 10, 15, 20 on a Dragon Tree Circle, 30, or sorry, 20, 30, 40 on his own, no boost, so he's a 40k. Because yikes, that's the crap we deal with. We don't have a ton of shield in hand. So we guard, and then, well, if we're guarding with this, that'll put me to 33k. And then I'll be able to save that. Yeah. So then move from game those 2, and that'll put me up to 43, which is enough to guard it. Then they swing with their Vanguard, and at this point I start to like question my life decisions, but I've got this, and then hopefully they don't hit any triggers. So off of their Vanguard, I will guard with this. Let's say they hit a front, but nothing crazy. So they swing Roaring Prison Dragon for game. PG ditching that. And then Keel Severing over here, because obviously the more counterblast they give me, the more I have to work with. So stand and draw. Persona Ride, draw. Cool. Wow, another one. Crazy. I think I'm out of other Ominagruzios, I'm out of other Ominagruzios in the drop zone, but we're in a good enough spot where I have 3 different types of triggers, that I can turn off, as well as this guy's gonna be plus 15. So, this says bind a trigger from Soul. Do I have a trigger in Soul? I don't. So let's call this. Look for a trigger. No trigger. Cool. Call this Soul Blast 2. Of course, I'm gonna choose the ones that I don't want in Soul and draw. There's a counter charger. Cool. Doesn't really mean a lot right now. So call that Doom. I can't really do anything with this because I already removed 2, and then I removed 1 for this, so I only have 1, which is fine because I'm gonna get 4 attacks this turn. Really have to push for game, so I'm going to call this back here to make this number a little bit bigger. Battle phase 31,000. Again, they're at 4, so already starting to push hard. Try to crit. Power here, critical. Actually, no. I would put power in my Vanguard because I want my Vanguard to be scary. So you can do front, cool, coming in clutch. Counter blast, put to soul, restand. 43k, and then probably be game about here. So check, draw trigger. Yeah, definitely game. Power draw. And then my other swings are 41 and 60. So that would probably be game right there. So after 2 games of, I guess, kind of proxying against Zorga, I want to say that's not going to be all that useful. This is definitely useful. That last single card slot is flex, definitely. I don't think you want to run more Ominagruzio or Mask because you want to have like more shield value, so maybe just 1 more Chemda for consistency. Deck is consistent. It has decent draw power because you can run like a rainbow line. It's got good I got really lucky seeing like 3 different types of triggers on that last drive check, but that is something that can absolutely happen. I think you definitely want to run the Dark States OT for this deck because like it'll just hit so much harder when you're like, oh, Dark States OT, and then Dark States OT, and then you just like have an extra 10k in crit for the rest of the game. Anyways, thanks for joining in. Have a good day.